Welcome back to DIY with KB. My name is Kiva and I teach people how to achieve the luxe look for less. In today's video, we're talking all about more Dollar Tree items that look luxurious. And my name is DIY with KB, so there are gonna be a few easy DIYs in there that look so high end. I promise this is a video you're not gonna wanna miss. Before we get into today's video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check me out on Instagram. Now let's get into it. Now, this is a fun little vase. Sure, it's on the smaller side, but again, it is just $1. And what I really love about this is it is an atypical shape. It's asymmetrical, which I think is really fun. It's super interesting. You see vases like this at West Elm, Pottery Barn, CB2, stores that are a little bit more mid-century modern or strictly modern because we love the odd shapes to really contrast our very clean lines. So I love this. Now you may be saying this color isn't for me. Well, if the color is for you, I think that's great. But if not, you can paint over it really easily. If you want to give it some texture, you can do that really fun DIY that everyone's doing. You can get some baking soda, also from the Dollar Tree, mix it with a little bit of paint, also from the Dollar Tree, and give this vase a little bit of texture and switch up that color. In fact, Dollar Tree not only has acrylic paint, but they also have tempered paint, which I'm going to use a little bit later, but you could use something like that on this and really transform the way this looks. And I know you might be saying this is so small. They actually sell vases like this on Amazon in higher end stores that are the same size, but for $10, $15, and $20. So I honestly think this is a steal. So I went ahead and I did the baking soda trick for this little vessel. So there is a little bit of texture, especially look up close. And with the baking soda, it actually comes out looking a little bit more like black gray than like a true black. So it's really nice and earthy. It has texture. And I took this really nice, very vibrant ceramic vessel and I turned it into something that works for my design style. And that's what I love about the Dollar Tree. You can like really upcycle anything and make it your own so that it works for your design style. It's like getting something custom, and there's nothing more luxurious than custom. Next, we have these super cute cement candle holders. They're so cute. They have the brass detailing, which does come off, and then you just have the cement tray here. It's really well made. There's no chips or anything like that. And of course, these are both $1. Yes, you can use these to hold your candles, but what you can also do is actually use them to hold your jewelry. I am always looking for like a fun way to display my jewelry because I don't like it thrown into a container because honestly, it just gets all tangled up. So what you can do is actually just hang your earrings along the side and put your necklaces maybe in the middle. So if you have a small amount of jewelry that you like to keep out all the time, this is a really fun way to do so. And this would be great if you're a glam, modern, really anything. I mean, this is super fun. And if you don't like this brass detailing, just spray paint it black and then it would work for a lot more design styles. Of luxury design is that everything has a place. It is beautifully organized, but organization containers can be so expensive, but of course not at the Dollar Tree. I am really into these organizers with lids and these stackable organizer containers. These are amazing. Obviously, I really love them because they're $1. I mean, how could you literally go wrong? But what I especially love is that they're see-through. So if you don't want to label them, you don't have to. You can see everything in there, but you can keep things really beautifully organized. Of course, you can use them on your desk. You can use them in the bathroom. I would even maybe use these in the kitchen because we all have those junk drawers and we could all stand to get them a little bit more organized. And of course, what I love about these is they do stack on one another. So you can stack them in your drawers, but you can actually stack them on your countertops. So if you're looking for a good way to organize that stuff on your vanity, instead of having it scattered all over and taking up the entire space, you can use these and use some of that vertical space instead of cluttering up those surfaces. Now you may be saying, Kiva, what on earth is this? Well, this is a sphere ice cube tray. And if you drink alcohol or you just have like really fun beverages, having oddly shaped ice cubes, it's really in. It's like a sign of luxury. I don't really know why, but I think it's super fun. So you can actually make sphere ice cubes using this. It is only $1 and it makes 4 ice cubes. So you use this, you have different kinds of ice. You know, people are really particular about ice. Me too, that Sonic ice, guys, I would drive out of my way for it. But anyway, you can use these for this. And honestly, what I really like about these is obviously it does make a perfect sphere. So we could use this if you're doing like a DIY project, maybe if you want spheres for like clay, if you're making like a tray or something like that. This is a perfect way to get that mold that you want. And of course, if you have like a coffee bar or something like that, you can actually use these as molds for like hot chocolate bombs or something like that. You know, giving your guests a little bit more of an elevated experience, whether that be with alcohol, coffee, tea, hot chocolate. It's just like a really fun little ode that shows that you went the extra mile. And for people who do drink alcohol, getting spheres is actually really great because in this shape, the ice actually melts slower and it dilutes your drink less, so you can actually, enjoy what you're drinking. I don't do it, but I want to support you in doing so. So something that you see in luxury kitchens all the time is that they have their oils displayed beautifully, but some of those oil containers can be so pricey. So of course the Dollar Tree has this beautiful glass container here. Obviously you can actually find this in the craft section and in the dining section, so you could use this to display flowers or something like that, especially if you're farmhouse. But what I'd like to do is just put the oils in there that look really nice that I don't really ever eat. And someone's gonna say, oh, that's so silly. I'm the first one to say a lot of us do things just for the aesthetics. It's okay. There's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. So this is what you do to display something like that. If you're a little bit more farmhouse, you could also pick up one of those chalk markers from the Dollar Tree and write on it and label it and just make it look really nice and pretty. I think that these are super fun, and I mean, who doesn't love fun kitchen decor? Because kitchen decor can be so hard to find and maintain. So at least this is really affordable so that if something goes awry, you're not missing that dollar. In my last Dollar Tree video, people really loved the Dollar Tree storage containers, but there was a little bit of concern about the fact that they weren't all airtight. Well, Dollar Tree has a solution for you if you're not comfortable using plastic or you just want to be a little bit more sustainable and use glass. They have these really cute storage containers, and I love these. These are so cute. I don't know what I'm going to put on them. Do you guys ever have those moments where you're like, I just really need to display flour now? I don't know. I feel like that a lot of the time, but here is one of the glass containers. They unscrew. They have a really nice screw there. You can clean them out. Let's see if they're dishwasher safe. They are not, but that's okay because we have hands and we can use the sink. But my actual favorite thing about them is that they do stack on one another. They stack really well, upside down, not falling. It's like we're at, what is it, Dairy Queen? But I really like that, and of course they are see-through, and so you don't have to label them again, but you can. Again, you can get one of those chalk markers from the Dollar Tree, but you don't need the label because you can see into them. And a qualm that I have all the time with storage containers, they're like, oh, it's really nice and glass on the bottom, but the top has like a rooster on it. And I'm like, I don't want a rooster. I just want it to be plain and black, and I'm telling you, they're always out of stock at the Container Store. So these are a great option. I'm telling you, I gotta show you again. Honestly, so astounded by how well these stack. This is amazing. You gotta get these. They're only $1. So this one is for my people who love modern organic design, maybe the wabi sabi, maybe you just want some earthy elements in your home and you don't want to pay for one of those really expensive pieces. What you're going to do is make this really fun vase that adds a ton of texture and adds a really nice earth tone. So basically all you do is you get one of the glass vases, the cylindrical ones from the Dollar Tree. It's $1. You get your hot glue gun and hot glue, which if you're here, you probably already have on hand, and you're just going to take the wooden dowels that I believe come in packs of 10 from the Dollar Tree, and you're going to glue them all the way around. I did this with the vase turned on its side so that I could make sure that they were aligned perfectly. I did have a little bit of a mishap, but this is DIY. This is not a factory. I forgive myself, but you just want to glue them around, and you actually don't want to cut them down to size because these dowels are super tall, but the vase itself actually ends right here. But if you pack them really close together, you get this really nice long vase that could cost you a ton of money, and it adds a lot of vertical dimension to whatever console, buffet, side table, whatever you're doing, you're adding some height. And height is crucial to achieving that luxe look because you always want dimension. Dimension is the word of the day. Anyway, I took these, I glued them on, and I just put this faux chestnut branch in here. I think it really looks nice and luxe. If you don't want to introduce the wood tone, but you do want this texture, you can do the same thing and just paint it. Again, you want to put the dowels as close together, especially if you're going to paint it, because you don't want anything showing through. So if you're going to paint it and you don't feel too confident in your DIY abilities, just go ahead and give the vase itself a quick paint in that base color, then do the dowels, paint it again to make sure that there are no errors. But I think this is a super cute and a really easy thing, and it only took me under 5 minutes. All of these DIY projects are super simple, and I think they add a lot in terms of decor. Now it is springtime, which means it is garden season at the Dollar Tree. If you're a farmhouse lover, there are so many DIYs you can do. I'm telling you, I used to do them all. But anyway, let's talk about this. This is just a nice planter here. It is $1. I keep telling you these prices because they're all $1 and you should be mind blown right now. But I love this. it's good as is if you want to put it outside. But of course, what you can do is you can spray paint it. You can paint it with acrylic paint, which takes more time, but sometimes looks a lot better because there are no drippies. But you can make it look a little bit more high-end. You might be saying, Kiva, it's plastic. Okay, a lot of the stores sell them to you and they are plastic, but they're $50. This is $1. You can do that baking soda trick again, or you can go outside, you get some free dirt, rub it on here with some paint, create some texture and like an antique look. That's what they do at Restoration Hardware, and they sell it to you for $200. So this is a really great choice. Something else you can do with this, oh, so many fun DIYs in this, but you can get this and you can get their air dry clay and you can cover it in the clay, and then you can paint the clay so you can have a really nice textured vase. You'd probably need a bunch of these to cover this entire thing. You'd probably need at least like 20, if I'm being completely honest, to cover the inside and outside. But again, that would be $21, which is cheaper than most vases you can get elsewhere, but it's great as it is. My grandma would love this. So when you have a luxurious home, it only looks luxurious if it's clean, right? There's never been a pigsty in AD. I'm telling you that with 100% confidence. So Dollar Tree has an amazing cleaning section, so we're going to talk about a few cleaning products. Something that they've introduced recently is this really fun cleaning section. So what you can basically do is you can get one broomstick, and it has interchangeable heads. So they have a mop, they have a different type of mop, they have a broom, they have different like Swiffer attachments. So you can clean your entire home with one rod, which is really significant because when you're dealing with a modern home, you want there to be as few things as possible. Minimalism is prominent. And so if you have one cleaning device and different attachments, you have to store fewer things than a vacuum, a mop, a Bissell, a this, a that, and that. And I'm saying that as someone who has a whole utility room full of these things. So I guess I got to take my own advice here. But these are absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to use these. I don't know, and they're a good color. The mops are always bright blue, bright yellow. They are black, so they really fit in with my color scheme. I know it's a simple thing, but sometimes you just want your entire house to be uniform, and Dollar Tree helps you do that. Now, everyone uses command hooks because they're really well made, but they're ugly. At the end of the day, command hooks are ugly, and we hate that, but they have these removable hooks that have a wood tone. So if you have a wooden wall or something like this, these are going to blend in a lot more than just typical command hooks. They're definitely not for everybody, but you get 2 in a pack, and they hold up to 3 pounds, which I think is fairly good. You can put these in your entryway, you can put them in the utility room, but they look just like wood. And I think for the price, you really can't beat them. So the next item that's going to help you achieve the luxe look from the Dollar Tree involves a little DIY. My name is DIY with KB, so I had to throw a few in there. So the first thing you're going to need is this little floaty, and you're like, what could I possibly do with that? Well, you're going to turn it into this vase. So what I basically did is I got this floaty and a little glass vase from the Dollar Tree, and I stuck the vase in this hole because if you want to use real plants, I didn't have any real ones, but if you wanted to use a real one, you need like pretty much a vessel for the water to sit in. So that's what that is for. And all I did is I got some paint from the Dollar Tree and I painted this black. What I actually did is I painted it on its side and standing up to make sure that there was no green poking through. And you want to be sure to use actual paint instead of spray paint because you don't actually want to break down the styrofoam. But I thought this was a super fun project because it adds a ton of texture, which we're always looking for in vases, but they can be so expensive. And at the end of the day, what you need to understand is a lot of stores do sell you things that someone just spray paints or they just rub dirt on. So why can't you do it at home for super cheap? This is how it turned out. And all I did is I actually added in a Dollar Tree floral just to show you the completed look. And you can put water in there if you want to, or you can use a faux floral. I think for what it is, it looked pretty good, and the whole project only cost me $3. And honestly, let's say $2.50 because I used the paint for another project as well. And this one kind of goes without saying, but you want your electronics to look clean. Dust is not cute. There's never been like a dusty house that is also in AD. So you have the electronics duster just to clean out your laptop or your keyboard or whatever it is. It's just practical, and I wanted to put you on because sometimes people don't go into Dollar Tree. They kind of turn their nose up at it, but it has so many great things that are useful regardless of what your design style is, what your budget is, or anything else. Why would you pay more when you could get the same thing of the same quality for so much less? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I care very passionately about a clean toilet. Like when people are coming over to our home, I'm like, I gotta clean the toilet. I don't want any judgment for my toilet. I don't know. That's just like how I was reared, and that's how I feel that way. And what I love to do is actually put these toilet bowl drops in there. It doesn't turn your water blue, which some people don't think looks good. It keeps your water clear, but it just keeps like the toilet bowl itself looking clean. So if you have hard water or you're growing mold or something like that, it kind of slows that sort of thing so that it looks really nice and pristine, which I think is important. You can have a beautifully styled house, but if there's mold all over your toilet, it kind of just like ruins the whole vibe. So this is just something I want to put you on to. I know you're like, Kiva, how's this the Luxe Look for Less? It's the Luxe Look for Less because the little details matter. Part of a luxurious home is, again, taking care of those details, and they have this edge maker. These things are so expensive at hardware stores. They're so expensive because you know when you go to someone's house and the paint job is just not good. And when I say someone's house, I mean my house. When we first started DIY projects, I didn't have any skills. We were both learning together, which means our painting wasn't always great. So the edges weren't perfect. I don't know about you, you've pulled off the tape and you're like, oh man, it's like I didn't even tape. Well, with this, you can get your edges really nice and clean, and it just has your house looking pristine, and that's what we want. We're not talking about judgment for other people. We're talking about our own judgment of ourselves. This is a really great tool, and it's super easy to use. They have directions on the back, and it's only $1. Again, I have one that's like $22, so this is totally a steal. So this DIY is honestly, I think, my favorite one of the day because it is so fun. This wasn't my idea. I'm gonna link the original creator down below because it looks phenomenal. And this gives you one of those really nice ribbed textured vases for absolutely no money. Let's see how much it costs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $8 with some hot glue I already had, and some paint, which I also already had. So this was really affordable. You can make this as big or as small as you want to. And you can put a base on the bottom if you want to, but honestly, if you're not using a real plant, you don't need to do that. And I just stuck my big chopped up branch in there, and I get a really nice modern vessel with something that's a little bit more earthy and relaxed. It's a really nice juxtaposition. And I actually wanted to show you another idea I had in case you wanted to take this to the very next level. You could take something like this and actually put a round top on it to create a little bit of a table. You would have to put more things on the bottom to make it taller for it to be a side table. You could also do maybe 2 or 3 clusters of this and get a big round top and make a coffee table this way. I don't know. It's a really easy DIY and it's so modern. Tables that look like this go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Honestly, don't even look them up because I don't want you to pay for them. But this could be a really fun project for you to do if you're into really modern sculptural design. Next, we have these sand dollars and these starfish. If you're into coastal decor, or even if you're into kind of like transitional decor, sometimes you want to have some natural elements, and this is a great way to do so. You can put something in like a bowl with like potpourri and kind of mix it up in that way. But something else you could really do with this is a really easy DIY. You could just make a fun shadow box. You can get a really cheap frame from like Michael's, or even you could use one of the frames from the Dollar Tree, glue it in there, and it's just really nice dimensional artwork that's super affordable. Great for a beach home. You can just add some of the Dollar Tree felt behind it to be a really good backdrop to these really great pieces. So the next item we have is this thing. That is the adjective or the noun I'm going with today. So obviously you could use it to display your photographs, but something that came to mind, and with me in the Dollar Tree, it's all about being creative. No, the things aren't just sitting there being luxurious. Obviously, if they were, they wouldn't be at the Dollar Tree. But for something like this, what you could do is you could get actually like mini test tubes or just mini containers and glue them on here and use this as kind of like a base for like a propagation wall or something like that that you could put in a bathroom. I'll put an image here so that you can imagine with me. Sometimes my ideas are kind of outlandish and my wife is like, what? But that's kind of what I imagine for this. I think that would be super fun, but otherwise you could still use it for something like this. If you are like in college or something like that and twinkly lights are still your jam, you could kind of put them around the frame and put the pictures in there, and I think that would look really nice and cute. If you wanted to farmhouse it up a little bit, instead of using these clips, you could use clothespins or something like that, but I think it's really fun, especially if you have a teen at home or something like that. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. Those were more Dollar Tree items that look and feel luxurious. I'm telling you, Dollar Tree is such a great resource, and if you want to see a video like this from any other stores, be sure to let me know down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check me out on Instagram. And until next time, have a beautiful day.